Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's your boy, Young Sisyphus. I got a lot of projects I should be working on, and as of recording, tomorrow's gonna be a very big day for a lot of people. Hope it goes safe. And, but I found the Vancouver Police Department's 2021 policy manual, and skimming through it, I feel like there's actually a lot that local activists could stand to learn from it. And also, it's going to be kind of fun to make fun of, because this is 504 pages of all their procedures. um, just like skimming through it, I also want to say it's really shaping up, like, if you're an activist, especially in ways that police really dislike, you should go and familiarize yourself with their policy manual, because I don't think they even, can read their policy manual or something. I'm sorry, that was bad. They choose not to read their policy manual. But, VPD Policy Manual 2021. Let's get started with their silly little mottos and visions and missions and values that we partner with the community to preserve life, protect property, and enhance livability through equitable law enforcement and effective use of resources. Preserving life is an interesting one because I feel like the Supreme Court disagreed with that a while back. And enhance livability, does that just mean kicking homeless people out of Esther Short Park? Yeah, they cover a lot of shit in here. Ooh, profiling. Content warning. We're obviously talking about police, which will come with police brutality. But this is also going to cover, sexual assault, search warrants, stuff like that. So if that's quick shoe out, I'll try and be perceptive. You may also hear my co-host Kimchi in the background. She'll sometimes chime in with her thoughts and feelings. And here we are, Chapter 1, Law Enforcement Role and Authority. Law enforcement officers are granted the authority to perform their function based on established legal authority. Water is wet. So it says here the city of Vancouver is ultimately responsible for the performance of the department. So does that mean, we should start bullying our mayor? I know you want to, because I want to. Don't... They don't give a shit about this. It's always kind of weirded me out that they call cops peace officers. That feels like some Orwellian, doublespeak or something. But they can arrest you for the same shit that any other place will arrest you. So, other authority, though, I feel like is a very interesting part. Sworn members of this department who enter the state of Oregon in order to provide or attempt to provide law enforcement assistance have Oregon peace officer authority within 50 miles of the Washington-Oregon border. And under the following circumstances. So they could go over the border in response to a request for law enforcement assistance initiated by an Oregon sheriff or law enforcement officer. Or they could do it in response to a reasonable belief that emergency law enforcement assistance is necessary, and for the purpose of assisting Oregon law enforcement officials with emergency assistance in response to criminal activity, traffic accidents, emergency incidents, or other similar public safety situations. This is really weird to me because I don't feel like Vancouver police should have, jurisdiction, authority in Oregon whatsoever. Once you get past, that halfway point on the I-5 bridge, you're Oregon State Patrol's problem, right? No, I guess they can go within just 50 miles deep into Oregon if they have a reasonable belief that emergency law enforcement assistance is necessary. And again, that feels like a really abusable thing to me. For the past couple years, I have had concerns about, Vancouver Police, Clark County Sheriff, collaborating with like Portland Police Bureau and Oregon State Patrol, but this kind of like cinches my belief that like they are actively collaborating and probably in much less than charitable ways, so to speak. At least they can't enforce Oregon traffic laws. Wow, this is like some flavor text. The city of Vancouver is a city of crossroads. It has interstate highways and state and county roads that cross city boundaries. Direct enforcement actions may be taken by Vancouver Police, Clark County Sheriff, the Washington State Patrol, and federal law enforcement agencies. A limited number of other agencies are given authority by the Chief of Police to act in a full or limited law enforcement capacity within the city. Chiefs and sheriffs from other jurisdictions have also given consent to Vancouver officers to exercise law enforcement authority in their jurisdictions. A list of these agencies receiving consent from Vancouver and giving consent to Vancouver is maintained by the police legal advisor. Original documents of consent are maintained in the office of the police legal advisor. I want to see them documents real fucking bad. Holy shit, I need that. I need those files. All employees shall observe and comply with every person's clearly established rights under the United States and Washington constitutions. What about Kevin Peterson's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? I'm gonna go bully the fuck out of the mayor about that. Who is the Vancouver mayor? Ugh. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess. To provide emergency services when there is a depletion of department resources, the department has entered into mutual aid agreements with adjoining jurisdictions. Again, the department's legal advisor maintains a list of all mutual aid agreements. This is really giving me more questions than answers. Like, for every answer I get, I have like 30 new questions now. This is gonna be like a hole I'm gonna dig myself into over the next few weeks. I guarantee it. Officers involved in any exercise of police authority outside the city of Vancouver are bound by VPD policies, procedures, and regulations. I don't like this, like, swap-a-cop going on. Blah, blah, blah. Something about Cressa. I guess it can also go into, like, Battleground and, like, Ridgefield and unincorporated Clark. Okay, so I guess responding to mutual aid requests from other law enforcement agencies requires supervisor authorization, but that does nothing to kind of calm down my discomfort about this whole weird mutual aid swap-a-cop thing. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they can activate the National Guard. That's boring. Oh, but they have to declare a civil emergency pursuant to Vancouver Municipal Code Section 2.12030. What's up here? Compensation for expenditures incurred by agencies responding to a mutual aid request from Vancouver Police, if not previously arranged, shall be decided through an administrative review of incident after the fact. So not only is, like, it okay for like the swap-a-cop to go on, but they even get paid for it out of like Vancouver money? Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Ooh, law enforcement certification. Did they write it in crayon? Boring. Police authority outside city limits. Maybe this will answer some questions. On-duty response and jurisdictions. Jurisdictions of consent is a phrase. Like, ugh. Okay. Investigations arising out of crimes or infractions that are alleged to have occurred within the city of Vancouver. Conducting investigations includes arrests without an arrest warrant in jurisdictions outside the city of Vancouver, where full authority consent has been given. Oh, wow. Yeah, I should have known the answers to my questions when I first had them. Fresh pursuit, as opposed to canned pursuit. So I guess I can also, VPD has jurisdiction in unincorporated Clark County if the sheriff doesn't have a deputy available. Which is probably all the time because they're too busy circling like the same 4 blocks by the Coles. Okay, and they also have multi-jurisdictional investigative units, blah blah. On-view incidents. Response by uniformed officers and marked units and on-duty detectives in civilian clothing and in unmarked vehicles to an on-view incident occurring outside the city of Vancouver. Again, the letters of full consent. Oh, hello, Kimchi. What do you have to say about all this? You have opinions? You can't see it, but she's reading the manual very closely. What do you think? What? Stop. Well, sorry about that. My little girl. On-duty response in jurisdictions that have not consented. Okay, so if there's no consent, I guess I can still go over jurisdiction borders for investigations or search or arrest warrants related to investigations from Vancouver. Off-duty involvement in jurisdiction of consent or non-consent. It's short, but it should be even shorter. It should just say no. Off-duty police officers shall use discretion when becoming involved in any law enforcement action. You know, the whole problem, well, part of the whole problem of police officers is that they're really bad at using discretion, like it's a job requirement. Blah, 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 reporting use of authority. Ugh. Oh, I like how they buried their, like, oath of office so deep into it. I, Officer McFartbutt, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the United States and of the state of Washington, that I will in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the City of Vancouver, that I will abide by the Code of Conduct and Ethics adopted by the Vancouver Police Department, and will faithfully discharge a yeast infection as part of my duties of a police officer for the City of Vancouver. That's it. That is the actual oath of office. No joke. No cap, as the youth might say. Why are they Okay, yeah. You know, I wouldn't be upset because, like, there's easy solutions to this problem, and it's just abolishing the police. I have, like, this mental image in my head of, like, Clark County sheriffs and VPD and, like, Oregon State Patrol and Portland Police Bureau all just, like, merging their biomass together to become, like, a kaiju-like monster to fight social justice. God, they have to bring their guns on the plane, I guess. Policy manual. 21 pages deep is a weird space to, like, put your policy manual meta talk about. The Vancouver Police Department Policy Manual is hereby established and shall be referred to as the Policy Manual or the Manual. Has anyone ever decided to do this more to go look far like? This policy manual should be read as a whole and interpreted so that no word, phrase, or section is rendered meaningless or superfluous. That sounds like a writer's problem, not mine. It is recognized that the work of law enforcement is not always predictable and circumstances may arise which warrant departure from these guidelines. I like the implication that law enforcement is work, as if these guys aren't just, like, parking somewhere for 6 minutes, eating Subway sandwiches, and pretending that they, like, responded to a call. The city of Vancouver shall be considered the ultimate authority. Seriously, guys, let's go bully the mayor. I'm tired of just, making signs. The chief of police or the authorized designee is authorized to issue general orders in which shall... Wow, like... They probably have tear gas money, but they don't have, like, Grammarly money? It's like $10 a month, guys. Come on. Oh, good. Definitions. I think... we know what words mean. Oh my god, I love it. They defined police officer just in case the police officers didn't know the definition of police officer. A duly appointed employee commissioned to perform police duties. Police service technician. That sounds euphemism-y. Probable cause, of course. I mean, I can see how it's legally necessary, but in practice, it's really fucking silly. Da-da-da. Boring. They need to sign some paper that says they read this. So there's operation and support bureaus. Huh. Oh, that's right. We have SROs up here. That's a problem. We should fix that when the kids go back to school, guys. Chain of command, support, unity of command. Each employee is only... okay. Records management program. Ooh, I think I know some people will love this shit. So boring to read, though. Blah, blah, blah. Keeping records safe. I want to know more about the retention period for records. Once a record meets purging requirements, it is first to be reviewed by the Vancouver City Attorney to determine if the record must be retained for any pending or anticipated litigation. The record's been reviewed and determination made on its relevance. Purging or archiving the record must follow a processing procedure outlined in the applicable retention schedule. Well, where's the retention schedule? Okay, fine. Fuck the retention schedule, I guess. Emergency management plan. So it says it's for employees in the event of a major disaster, civil disturbance, mass arrest, or other emergency event. Okay. Mass arrest employees. That's what I'm getting out of this. Specific responsibilities in the event the plan is activated. Blah, blah, blah. Written in accordance with the State of Washington's Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan and Program. City of Vancouver codes. Activating. It's so dramatic. Activate the emergency plan. Are you going to activate the emergency plan, Kimchi? She just stares at me. Blah, blah, blah. Training policy. Reduce exposure to liability. The objectives of the training department includes reducing exposure to liability to officers in the department. Like, that feels almost victim blamey or like gaslighting maybe? I'm not sure, but reducing exposure to liability is not how I would phrase that at all. But at least they're honest about it here. Oh, there's a training sergeant who has to maintain, review, and update the training plan every year. Pharmacists, I still think, do more training than this each year in their CTE. Blah, blah. Emails. Email right to privacy. Ooh. All emails, including any attachments that are transmitted over department networks, are considered department records and therefore are the property of the department. The department reserves the right to access, audit, or disclose for any lawful reason any message, including any attachment that is transmitted over its email system or that is stored on any department system. The email system is not a confidential system and therefore is not appropriate for confidential communications, nor should it include criminal justice information. Does that mean we can FOIA their emails or something? Blah, blah. Email messages addressed to the entire department are only to be used for official business-related communications that are law enforcement-related and of general applicability to all users such as C-briefs, overtime postings, and, quote, can you ID me? Blah, blah. Records used for the email box are responsible for management. Blah, blah, blah. The default retention for all archived email is 7 years. If you deleted an email before it is archived, it is not retained. Email in the deleted folder will not be archived. Well, I guess fuck trying to get that information. So yeah, I guess the email messages are public records when they're created or received in the transaction of public business. So yeah, hypothetically, we should be able to get some emails maybe. That's not terrible. Blah blah blah. Administrative communications. They're all just writing letters to each other. Ooh. Concealed pistol license. So it's the chief of police who's given the responsibility to issue, monitor, and revoke concealed carry licenses. That's interesting to know. So you gotta be 21. Okay. Well, it seems pretty like bread and butter. Blah, blah. Yeah, this doesn't seem much different than like other jurisdictions. Temporary emergency licenses may be issued for a good cause to an applicant who resides within the jurisdiction pending review. I want to know more about that. Like, from what I understand, VPD can like have jurisdiction outside of Vancouver and decide to give people temporary emergency gun licenses. And also, like, we don't have police scanner radio up here, it's encrypted. And my mouth keeps getting more and more sour about these cops. And I didn't hold them in good regard to begin with. Firearm forfeiture. Oh, reciprocity. This is useful for Portland people. The chief of police will recognize the validity of a concealed pistol license issued from another state if the laws of that state recognize and give effect to a concealed pistol license issued under the laws of the state of Washington. A non-resident A non-resident so licensed is authorized to carry a concealed pistol in the state. If the licensing state does not issue concealed pistol licenses to people under 21, the state requires fingerprint-based background checks and a mental health history. And the licenses are only honored when the license holder is not a resident of the state. Okay. Boring, boring, boring. Can issue a license to a non-resident of the state. Okay. Firearms transfer. Blah, blah. Unresolved denial. Kinky. Okay, we're at page 50, so I'm going to cut this off for a minute. I gotta say, I'm even less impressed with VPD than before, and I have a lot more questions and, like, research holes to dig. So, I guess I'll continue this later on. Stay frosty, stay dangerous, and be safe in Salem. Love y'all.